Hey guys, welcome back to Bird Nest Farms. As I'm sure some of you have realized, it's been well over a month since we've been in the bee yard checking on things and making videos. We had a series of personal issues, and it just seemed like a little spell of bad luck there, where we just couldn't get things going, couldn't get out here, couldn't check on things. So we've got some good news and some bad news associated with that. I'll let you guys choose. Do you want the good news or the bad news first? Yeah, that's what I would have chose, the bad news first as well. Man, these love bugs are everywhere. So the good news is, last time we were in the yard, I was saying we were running out of equipment, and there was a long lead time for all this equipment. And I was totally wrong. Man Lake came through for us. We were able to get all the equipment that we requested within a week or two. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get out here to put any of that in the field, but that's the good news. Man Lake came through for us, and we got all the equipment that we asked for. So the bad news is I did kind of do a little peek around the yard. I guess it was last week. I drove through the yard just kind of looking, and I didn't see a whole lot of activity coming out of a couple of hives. So I think that we lost a couple of hives in the last month and a half that we hadn't been out here to get to check on everything. So I do anticipate some issues in the yard. We'll take a look at those. We'll see, if we can try to diagnose what's going on with the hives, if they're just, there's some issues with the queens, or if they, what the issue is. I don't think that anything would have starved at this time. So we'll take a look at those. I'm also going to throw in some drone footage of how overgrown everything is. Fortunately, Dakota has been doing a little bit of work out here and bush hogging and trying to kind of keep up with things as best he can. It's like I said, it's been a series of issues. Even now, it's like a swamp out here. It's been raining for like 2 weeks straight, so it's a real mess out here. Anyway, so let's jump into the hive inspections and see what we got going on, see what we can learn today. Okay, so let's take a real quick tour of the yard. Look at the carnage here. So these first 6 were just production hives that I rarely show you guys videos of. So in the first one, I see some activity, so we're looking good there. The second one, that's got multiple supers on it, I see no activity here at the bottom, so that's not good. The third one here, again, no activity, 2 supers, not good there. And back on the fourth one, I see activity, so that's a good thing. Fifth one, no activity, not good. And then the 6th and last honey production hive, we see some activity there, so that's good news there. So let's jump on over to the kids' hives. So the way that's supposed to be set up is I want to move Brianna, William, Savanna, Alexander, Michael, Clair, Liam, Declan, and Corinne should be there. So once we get it all set up, that's how it's going to look. So let's jump in, take a look over at William's hive. I see no activity at William's hive. Well, I lied. I just saw wax moth larva come out. Looking over at Savannah's hive, it looks like we got a good bit of activity there. And we need to switch out that box right there. So the other 2 kids' hives are in the back over there in the old bee yard. So here's Liam's hive. We got activity here at Liam's hive. And I believe this is Claire's. Claire's hive has activity, so we're good there. And then this is the little trap out that we did from my church friend. I couldn't get it open because it has a screw in it. I need to go get a screwdriver to undo that one. And that's the one that we had at the friend of a friend's hive. And I've got some video of that one that we'll show. So that's what it looks like in the new bee yard. We'll have to jump over to the old bee yard, see what things look like over there. So I don't usually do trap outs and cutouts and things like that. In fact, I've only ever done one cutout before. But I got a call from a friend of a friend who said, you know, after the hurricanes, people are still working on their houses. And they said, hey, Chris, we want to do a little bit of construction work on our house, and then we have some bees that are in a column. Can you help me out? So I went over there and set up a little bit of a trap out. We left it for a few weeks, and we finally relocated them when we felt like they had left and moved into this hive here. So what we did was we set out a trap out, a big cone, and then next to the entrance we put this up with some frames that I had borrowed from another hive, and then we just give them a few weeks and see what they did. So let's jump in and take a look, see what we got. They did propolize the lid down pretty good here. So I'm looking on the lid, and I can see the cluster right in the center, which was where we would expect to see them. So in here is a 4-frame nuke. I'm not going to use as much smoke as I normally do because I really would like to see the queen if she's in here. And if you smoke them, that kind of makes the queen run around quite a bit. So in here is a 4-frame nuke. It was supposed to be a 5-frame nuke, but it just fits really tight when you have 5 frames in here. So I like to leave them with 4 frames. Okay, this frame is really heavy. So I'm seeing some brood down at the bottom. Looks like it could be drone brood. There's some drones in here just scanning real quick for the queen. So we could have a... I'm not seeing her, but I am seeing some queen cups here. Let me show you. Or queen cells, I should say. Let's see. Can you see them there? So inside there is larva. So there must have been a queen and they're superseding her for some reason, or I'm not seeing her. I see drone larvae as well down here at the bottom. So what I'll do is I'll get these set up in a new hive outside of this nuke. And then again, maybe I should leave it. I think I'll leave it for another week. There's not a whole lot of bees in here. I still have room to grow. So let me put this one back together and we'll move on to the second little cutout that I did for someone else in our church. So let me show you this real quick. So if you look down here at the very bottom, there's a capped queen cup, or queen cell I should say. It's a capped queen cell there. So this one will be the first to emerge most likely, and then she'll come out and take out the other ones. There we go. There's a good shot. Okay, let me put this one back. Okay, so let's jump into the second hive where we have no activity and see what we've got here. I see all kind of stuff that's not good. I see the larva on the lid there at the top here, and then I saw one down there at the bottom. So there we go. That's not good. Not good signs there at all. So we had a pretty good hive here. Pretty good colony. And looks like it's full of hive beetles and wax moths. Oh yeah. Even ants are in here. Just absolutely packed full. I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but I'll try to hold it up. Just garbage. Not good. It's likely eaten all the honey and destroyed everything. All our honey supers. All the way down. There's a couple of bees in here, probably just scavenging what's left. Yep, so we'll break this all the way down and clean it out. Yep, not good. Let's see if I can take you in here. You can see that mess. Disgusting. It's the same all the way through. So let's jump into another one like this and see just how bad that one is. Okay, this is the third one in. Let's take a look at how this one's looking. It's not a good sign. And it's more of the same. Tons of larvae all the way across the top. So we'll jump in, drop the honey supers, and yeah, all the way through. It's just full. Unfortunately, I'm not. Oh wow, look at that! I'm not able to determine what the cause was. You can see more damage there. Made an absolute mess of the thing. So all those honey supers again. No good. Okay, let's set up on the last one that's like this over here. Alright, so it was a pretty small one that we had set up. I really wanted to cut the grass in here before we did this, but it just was too wet. There's a lot of standing water in here. Actually some bees in here, so there's some larvae right here on the top. But that's really all I'm seeing. Let's see what we got going on underneath there. So there's just a few bees in here. That is very interesting. So I'm looking at maybe 1, 2, 3 frames of bees. They don't appear to be robbing, which is what you kind of expect once a colony starts to go down like that. Expect to see a lot of robbing going on, especially this time of the year. Let's see if I can get in here. So they're building a little cone out here. Very odd. Unless maybe these guys are, yeah, they're just struggling. So I'm seeing some, like a roach in there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can catch it quick enough on camera. But there's a little roach running around. It looks like some damage, some wax moth damage at the bottom of the cell. So let's see. Right here, do you see those straight lines there and there? Those are wax moth damage here. So these guys are barely holding on for some reason. Let me see what it looks like a little deeper in. Okay, so I'm thinking what's going on here is this colony's getting robbed out. I don't think that these bees belong in this colony. I think, yeah, they're just robbing it out. I can see them in here just trying to take what they can take. So that's unfortunate. I was hoping there was a little something left, but guess not. So this is full of drones on this side. It's all drones in that corner. It's really interesting. Never seen that before. Okay. So we'll break this one down as well. When we like to, when we break them down, we try to put them where there's a lot of sunlight, because the wax moths and the hive beetles, they don't like the sunlight. So we usually break them down where the bees can get to them, rob whatever they can rob out, try to keep it out of the weather, and we'll use it again next year. So let me clean this up, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so all the hives that we've been looking at so far have been just production hives. This is the first of the kids' hives that I see no activity in. So this is William's hive here. So I'm not seeing anything in the hive at all. Huh. It's nothing. I don't see wax moths or hive beetles or anything. It's just totally empty. Yeah, totally empty. See a lot of ants. Oh, here we go. Here's some damage. There's all your wax moth damage there at the bottom. Some of you guys, yeah, we can see it there. A lot of wax moth damage. So looks like another total loss here on William's hive. So we'll get this one cleaned out of the yard and ready for next year. Tons of dead bees here on the bottom. It's probably, I think that's more associated with robbing, but lots of dead bees on the bottom screen. Okay, let's move on to some other hives. Okay, let's take a look at Savanna's hive. See what we got going on here. So I see that her top box is really bad. I'm going to do something about that. Fortunately or unfortunately, now we have plenty of boxes to replace it with. So I'm just looking at our honey super here, and there's pretty much nothing in the honey super. That's not a good idea. Alright, so looking down into the hive here, I see lots of new comb. It's filled out all the way across here. So let me pull this top box off. Take the opportunity to look in the brood chamber while we have it apart. Wow, it's just breaking apart in my hand. Oh gosh, it's heavy. Now it's just packed out with bees, which is a good thing. Let's see what we can see here. It's heavily propylized down, of course. Just trying to work it out without breaking the frame. Man. Nice and easy. Well, you guys can see this. Always get a kick out of the new comb. How nice and clean it looks. See how white that looks. And we always thought that looks beautiful. Alright, so let's put this in the front. Jump on into the brood chamber. Give them a little bit more smoke. So I see totally packed out with brood in the center. Very light frame. Oh yeah. Totally packed out with brood. It's really cool. Young larva in the top corner. So finally some good news. As you can see, it's completely packed with brood. Larva over here in the corners. Over that corner anyway. This corner you see in capped honey. Spin her around, you can see on the back side here. Same story, just packed full of brood. Honey, of course, in the corner here. Larva, you can see some larva there underneath there. So finally some good news on Savanna's hive. I guess you can't win them all, but I sure lost a lot of hives in a short amount of time. So we put this back together, get her a new deep, and then we'll move on to the next hive. Okay, let's take a look at Liam's hive. See how he's doing over here. Just give him a minute. Looking on the lid here, I'm just seeing bees, so that's a good thing. Looking into the super here, it doesn't even look like they've really touched it. So yeah, there's nothing drawn out here, so it'll be pretty light. Propylized really well. Alright, so this super here is full. And I'm seeing some ant pressure here. So we'll keep an eye on that. It's little bitty black ants all over the place. Alright. This one's heavy. Alright. Same story here. Super's packed, which is good news because after seeing our other hives there, I don't think we're going to have much of a honey crop this year. So we'll take all the supers we can get at the moment. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I've seen drone larvae here. It looks like I see a Varroa mite. See if I can catch that real quick on camera. So if you see right there, do you see the Varroa? So we're always looking for. It's a parasite. So we don't treat when we have honey supers on. So once we get the honey supers off, then we can treat for Varroa mites and things like that. So as long as we have supers, we don't do that. It's just a personal choice. There's the Varroa, another Varroa. If I can get it in there, there we go. See the Varroa there? So, major enemy of bees. Smash him. He won't cause any more trouble. So just looking down, we're seeing totally packed out again on this super. Let me set you back up. Being pretty calm today. I would expect them to be a little nastier. All the weather that we've had and still an overcast. Yeah, so it's packed out with honey all the way across. That definitely stirred them up a little bit more. Anytime that we start getting into the into the brood chamber, they tend to get much more aggressive. Let me give it a little smoke. Make sure all my PPE's on. They got to come out for a fight. So I'm just moving where I see the drone brood. Just trying to see if I can see any eggs. And I do. I see capped brood. Man. See eggs in the bottom. So this is full of eggs here. Honey on the backside. I don't think you'll be able to see it with the lighting as bad as it is today, but I'll give it a shot. Let's see. You guys see them? The eggs down there in the bottom. There's a bee just emerging. So it's a little baby bee being born right there. I'll try to hold on to it for a second. There we go. That's pretty cool. Bee's first moments. Okay, really cool. So let me put this one back up. And we'll move on to the next one. Okay, let's jump into Clair's hive real quick. Okay, so in the top here, I'm looking, I don't see any hive beetles or wax moths or anything. This super here is not filled out at all. There's nothing but propolis on the corners to help hold it down. It's the biggest spider I've ever seen in my life. Alright, into the hive we go. So it looks like we've got filled out all the way to the end minus this side here. So we'll jump in to the hive brood chamber. Choosing to come off of this side just because it's the only one that's not filled out. Okay, I'm going to jump straight in. This one's a little unusual because I'm seeing the very center here is no activity at all. Usually it's in the center frame that you see the brood chamber. I'm actually not seeing anything. Really heavy frame, so totally filled with honey. Okay, there's some, that's kept honey as well. So I'm looking at honey all the way across. I'm getting into that opening where I'm not seeing anything. Looks like it's just a couple of empty frames there, right in the center, which is odd. Again, I'm seeing nothing but freshly capped honey all the way across. Very interesting. Okay, let me put this one back how it was. I'll jump in one deep lower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Maybe I added this recently. I'll have to look back at the videos and see. Definitely seems like there's some room here for them. Man, this is heavy. Alright. Oh, that's going to make him mad. Alright, so again, some ant pressure here. Little black ants. Looking down, looks like they're in kind of the northernmost area. Here we go. Here's a really light frame, full of eggs. I'll try to get you a shot. Let's see if the queen's on here. Not seeing her. Yeah, there's some eggs on this side too. I really wish I had a black foundation to show you the difference. How much easier it is to see the eggs. So I don't know if you can see there, but down there in the bottom of the cells, there's eggs, capped, brood, kind of spattered around there. There we go. Now you can see that. And then on the other side, somewhat similar story. There's eggs down there on the bottom. So you can see there, especially up in this area here. There's some larvae in there. So that's good news. We have eggs, that's all we are concerned about. So let me put this one back together and we'll jump on to the other hives. Alright, so this is Michael's hive. As you can see, the grass is really growing up on this side. This is the old bee yard here. So let's take a look in Michael's hive and see how they're doing. On the lid, I don't see anything. I see a little bit of ants. Just a few on the top. Just dive on in. There's lots of bee coverage here as well. Ooh. See 3 hive beetles. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 hive beetles on the top cover. Let's see if I can show you real quick. There's number 5. Do you see him? Boy, he's quick, isn't he? He's trying to get out of there as fast as he can. So it's another pest. Wonder if he'll interact with any bee. It's cool to watch. Bees will do what they can to try to harass them, really, but that's about all they can do. So let me take care of this one as well. Got a hard exterior shell, and the bees they end up corralling them in corners, and that's about all they can do. So we took care of 4 of them for them. Okay, so in this top super, not seeing anything here. It's very well propylized, but it's pretty well empty. So this is packed out all the way across this honey super as well. Alright. This is just packed full of bees. Some bee bread on this side. Packed full of honey on this side. Give you a shot real quick. See all that pollen on the bottom? It's all bee bread. There. Honey in the corner. there and there. On the back side, just jam-packed full of honey. It's almost like it's one continuous sheet of honey. So, very cool there. Let's jump on into the brood chamber. Give them a little smoke. Getting a little aggravated with me. There we go. Alright. You can always tell where the brood chamber is. It gets real light because there's no honey packed in there like there is on the sides. You can move the frame around pretty easy. So here I'm seeing a little bit of bee bread on the bottom. Lots of larvae and capped brood. Same on this side. Just scanning real quick for a queen before I walk on over there. They're really calm compared to Liam's hive. Michael's hive is much calmer. Of course, Michael comes from one of my favorite queens. Michael's hive does. Alright, so there you go. You can see the larva up in the corner there, very top. All this is capped brood here. And then up in this corner, you'll see some honey, capped honey. Same is true for this side, the other side here. You'll see lots of capped brood. All in here's full of larvae. I'm trying to get you some sunlight. Full of larvae there. So we've seen all that we need to see. I'm glad to put this guy back together. Okay, this is Brianna's hive. Let's jump on into her hive and see what we're looking like today. So just looking at the front entrance, it looks good. Looks like there's a lot of bees there. Yeah, it's a lot of bees here on the top lid, and seeing some ants, a little bit of ant pressure. Oop, hive beetle. So one hive beetle so far on this hive. I think we had 5 on the other. What's interesting is that we lost 4 hives on the other side, and we didn't lose any over here in the old bee yard. So another hive beetle. So it's 2 here. So this looks almost totally packed out, which is good. It's like one of our old frames because it's all, our old boxes, it's all uneven and messed up here. So we'll replace that one next week. Jumping on here. Looks good. We'll get away from the entrance there. It's totally packed out all the way across. See if I can jump in here. Let's see. Yeah, so I see, oops, a bunch of bees just fell. I see eggs in the bottom frame here. And I see a little bit of cap brood. Let's see here. So tons of cap brood there. Over here in this top corner is larvae, eggs. All in those corners there. On the back side here, looks like lots of honey and some cap brood and eggs in there as well. So this one's looking good. We'll put it back. And I mean, it is totally packed out. They have room in the honey super, but as far as volume of bees, man, there's This one's doing great. So that's some more good news. So let's put this one back together and move on to the next one. Let's do it. Today, oh wow, see tons of ants and ant larvae on the top lid here. Tons of ants. So we'll see what we can do to help them with that. A little bit of sugar will help with that. Brown sugar. I'm sorry, not brown sugar, cinnamon. What am I thinking? I mean, there's just a ton of ants here. So we've got to get that under control. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm seeing eggs at the bottom, down there, and just trying to see if I can find a queen. So there's larva here. So the sun is really the opposite way for you to be able to see anything, but I'll give it a shot. Yeah, it's not a very good shot here. Let's see if I can spin her around. Just give me 1 second. I know this is going to be a really bad view here, but can you see down there? The bottom cells, and then you spin around and get you a better shot of the eggs. Yeah, if you can see down in the bottom of these cells, it should glow at you a little bit. Anyway, so let me put this one back together and we'll jump on to the next one. right, guys, that's going to do it for this week's hive inspections. So overall, not very good news. We lost 4 hives and 9 deeps. I'm sorry, 9 supers of honey. So not good news there, but that's what happens whenever you can't get out to the bee yard to check your hives and kind of handle your business. So, but we did get some good things taken care of today. We got all of the roadways kind of cut and mowed. It was pretty wet, but we were able to push through it and get most of it cut. So a little bit of different content this week than what you guys normally see. Let me know if you like that kind of stuff, if you want more of that, or if we should just stick to beekeeping. So yeah, so not a great report this week. Hopefully next week we'll have some more stuff to talk about. We are keeping an eye out for the goldenrod. So as soon as it begins to flower, we'll pull the supers and we'll extract honey. So that's always the best part of the year. So we'll be looking forward to that. Thanks again for watching. Hope to see you again next week.